Hello everybody, this is Brother Chooch for Outside the Bunker. This is a program where we mean what we say what we mean, we pull no punches. We realize that we need to redeem the time, for the days are evil. So we need to get to the point. Now I don't know about you, but I've been watching a bunch of videos from different Watchmen channels. And I must admit, I've been watching a long time. I mean, I think I have been watching since 1986. Been watching since really 1986, but watching more intensely 2012, 2013, and then it ratcheted up in 2014, 2015, and really became pretty intense 2017 to present day. Folks, the years go by quick. I've been watching videos and watching the news and seeing how things are lining up prophetically. One can say that, well, 7 years or 10 years is a long time. But looking through the lens of prophecy, 10 years is not much. So here we are, 2025. And I must admit that there's programs, there's videos, there's things that are being shared that's coming out that's pretty remarkable. And my mind is saying, wow, how could this not be it? How could this not be it? I mean, And it's not just one category. There's several categories that are taking place that we're watching, and we feel biblically backed by watching these particular categories. And it could be what's going on astronomically. It could be what's going on with timelines. It's what's going on with Israel. It's what's going on amongst the nations. It's what's going on with various birth pangs that the scriptures spoke of. I mean, we go on, and there's more. And so we look at what's happening this year, and I must admit, of all the things you look at, you do have to put an extra emphasis on Israel. Because we're really looking for, are we going to a place where we're getting closer and closer to the time of Jacob's trouble? Let us really think about the Old Testament and the journey that the Lord has been on with Israel over the centuries. It's been an amazing journey. God has not given up on this nation. God is going to do something about Israel. Take a look at Israel. Israel is looking at other nations for help. Israel believes, and when I say Israel, Netanyahu, the leadership, I know that there's differing views in Israel, just like there is in the United States. Thinking that if we could have alliance with our neighboring Arab nations, we could get that peace and security. if we could get rid of our enemies, such as Hamas, Hezbollah, cripple Iran, then we could have peace and security. We could prosper. And logically speaking, that might make some sense. But the big problem here is Israel should be looking to their God. Getting attacked by bugs. Israel should be looking to their God. And they're not really doing that, at least in my humble opinion. At least not to the degree. I mean, Netanyahu may mention God and maybe quote a Bible verse, but it always seems to be in context of pounding his own chest or amplifying Israel or amplifying Trump or amplifying the United States. And we have to understand, even in the perspective of nations in regards to Israel, that, when you hear it buzzing in your ear, it's so disconcerting. Even in regards to Israel or the United States or any nation for that matter, when you are depending on yourself or on your alliances, your confederacies, and taking God out of the equation, it's a recipe for bad things to happen for that nation. We need humility. We need to look to the Lord. What's the end goal here? Is it wealth and prosperity? Is it peace and security? Solomon asked for wisdom to lead God's people, and because he didn't ask for wealth and power, God gave him wisdom and those things. Listen, there's stuff going on. Keeping an eye on Israel. Israel wants peace. Israel wants to be done with their surrounding enemies. The current situation is, even though they've crippled Hamas, Hamas is still there. Even though Iran is limping, Iran's heart and spirit has not changed. They still want their nuclear bombs. They're still going to deal with being the enemy, having this position of being the enemy with Israel. They're reloading, they're restocking. They're going to continue to enrich their uranium, and it's not for nuclear power exclusively, as far as like clean energy or whatever. I don't even know how clean nuclear energy is. Probably not. So, what's going to happen? It seems like everything's pointing this year. And folks, we are more than halfway done with 2025. We are entering into the season of new wine. Some believers believe that Pentecost and new wine are in the same time frame. You have also the 9th of Av. We did a video on that with Brother Matt and Brother Brandon last Sunday night to talk about the importance of that date. All that is coming right around the corner. I believe we're in literally stone's throw away from that period of time. It's going to be very telling. Will we hear the trumpet blast in a week or 2 or 3? Whew. Or do we look at the Feast of Trumpets? Will it be the Feast of Trumpets this year? Or will it just be a day in between these things? Will it be sometime in 2025? I was texting Brother Tyler. He counts there's going to be like 3 different meetings that are involving the UN, the other nations, in regards to a 2-state solution. And it's seeming to happen during the time of new wine and Ninth of Av and also Yom Teruah. So what does that mean? Well, I think what it means, folks, is that we have to watch diligently, intently. There's one way to find out if we're going to be raptured or not in 2025. And you know what's that? It's not a special formula. It's not a special theory. Is you live your life and you wait and see, because guess what? It's coming. It's coming, and nobody knows except the Lord. So we have the privilege, unless we get run over by a bus, and that's not in my plans. We're going to live through this time of new wine, this time of Ninth of Av, and perhaps the Feast of Trumpets and beyond. And the Lord could snatch us away during those times, before those times, after those times. And even if 2025 comes and goes, which I really don't want to entertain that thought. Even if 2025 comes and goes, it doesn't mean that the Lord's not coming soon. And I would qualify 2026 as soon. But right now, hiding my ears, because the bugs seem to like them. I don't know if they think there's nectar in that. You know, I mean, I clean my ears regularly. If we can just continue to move forward and understand the privilege of living in the day that we live in, and live for Christ. Live for Christ. Now, I have, and again, this is atypical for me. I have a fleece. I'm not going to go into detail right now. I will say this. I have one fleece. If I told you what it was, you would laugh. But this fleece has been laid out since about 2012. Every time there's a high watch time, or I lay this fleece down. Now, again, God is not, this could be just my own delusion, but I have a fleece that I lay out. And it's the one thing I believe that the Lord is going to allow me to see within a 2-week span of the rapture. Again, could be my own delusion. If that fleece that's laid out shows what it shows, that is going to put me in a gear where you're going to think I lost my brain. I will let you know that it happened. And I don't want to, again, this is very, very much not like me, because the Lord doesn't need to do what I think he's going to do for me for an alert that the rapture is. But if that does happen, I need to be like a Paul Revere maniac and just say, Lord's coming really, really soon. So I don't want to give this too much energy and thought. But the reason why I bring that out is there might be something that you have between the Lord. Not necessarily like laying out a fleece, but there might be just something that you have going with the Lord. Something inside. It's just an intimate thing where you're getting that signal. You're getting that there's something going on within you can't put into words per se. It's saying, he's coming really, really soon. And I know some people have had rapture dreams, and some people have shared instances that seem to be beyond coincidence. And believe me, we don't put all our eggs in that basket. But when you have a close, intimate relationship with the Lord, which we all have the privilege of that, not by our own merit, but what Christ did on the cross, dying on the cross for our sins. A loving father can sometimes, with his child, because of love and because of a close relationship, just give a little hint, just like a little wink, a little nod, a little smile. Something special's coming. And the child gets excited. It's like, Dad, did you really get me? Or, it's like your birthday's coming up, and you're hoping Dad does or gets something for you. And you're driving him nuts asking. He just won't let you know. He won't tell you. And he just gives you a little wry smile. And you take that like, oh man, your adrenaline, you get so pumped up and excited. Folks, for all I know, we may be probably just doing very mundane, day-to-day life stuff on that special day. And that's okay. Because guess what? If you're about to put laundry in the washer machine, or you're taking dishes out of the dishwasher, or you're sending an important email for your business, or you're passing a kidney stone, which I hope isn't a day-to-day thing, but you get the idea. When the trumpet blasts, you're going up. I'm going up. And you could leave the kidney stone behind. Let the dishes break on the kitchen floor. It's okay. You could let the laundry sit in the washer machine. Because at that moment, all those things that were necessary and important, everything is changed. Everything is changed in the twinkling of an eye. And so, even if we have a strong inclination that the Lord is at the door, everybody's going to be surprised. Because nobody I know has ever been raptured. Nobody I know has been snatched away by the Lord and transformed in an instant from corruptible to incorruptible, to mortal to immortal. And there's going to be so much that happens in a nanosecond that we're going to need to be transformed in order to even be able to take it in. So, folks, I am so used to everyday life, day after day, not too much excitement, plenty of responsibilities, things that are pretty ordinary. According to my Bible, that all gets changed dramatically in an instant at the rapture. And so, are we rapture ready? Well, yes. If you're a believer in Jesus Christ, if you've put your faith and hope in Him, you're rapture ready. But folks, let us be in the category of ones who are watching, who are desiring His return, who are loving His appearing, and who desire to shed off this old self because we're still wrestling with our old nature. And be finished with the complete redemption process of even these corruptible bodies being redeemed. And going to be with the Lord, as he says, no longer separated from him, but with him forevermore. Where he goes, we will go. We're going to be like Ruth promising to Naomi. You know, we're locked at the hip. The Lord will be in our presence for all of eternity. Now, having said all this, keep in mind that there is a world out there, 99.999%, including a boatload of believers, who are planning the rest of their summers, they're planning their fall, they're planning their winter, they're planning their retirement, they're planning their lives. They are not expecting this. Not a lick. I could understand a lost person having that perspective, but not a believer. Folks, we're not talking about selling the barn. We have to continue living. We continue to go to school. We continue to go to work. We continue to do the things that we need to do to function and live in this society. But we also should, with that, have a mindset like today can be the day, because we see the day approaching. Do you get it? So I'm really thinking out loud. And in a way, it's surreal, because we're getting so close to some really interesting days. Jesus said that he's not going to drink the fruit of the vine until he does it anew in his Father's kingdom. Folks, that's going to be with us. Could you imagine what a tasty, delicious, wonderful taste of that special wine that the Lord himself has refrained from for about 2,000 years. We get to enjoy that with him. And wouldn't that be wonderful if it happened at the time of new wine? Special time. So, keep on watching. Keep on praying. Keep on looking up. Be encouraged in the Lord. Thanks for tuning in. Let's finish strong. Hallelujah. Maranatha. I'll see you in the air.